Hi everybody. Today we are going to consider basic concepts of electrostatics. As name implies, we know that electro always stands for electricity, means charges, and statics always stands for rest. So how to define electrostatics? Study of charges at rest. Study of charges at rest is considered under the special branch of electricity called as electrostatics. Now already we discussed study of charges in motion is called as current electricity. Now what are the basics of this electricity? We must know how exactly electricity is produced and what is this property. Actually electricity is the property of attracting small pieces of paper or wood shavings, and a material having this property is said to be electrified or is said to be charged. Now we know that if we consider, suppose here's a glass rod. Suppose this is a glass rod under consideration, and suppose this is a fur material, okay, or maybe silk material, for example silk. And if we consider, suppose a rod of ebonite material, this is ebonite, and suppose this is fur material. So when these two rods, glass and ebonite, are respectively rub on silk and fur material, or if we consider, yes, wool material on which amber rod is rough, this is amber rod. When these materials are respectively rubbed on these materials, respective materials, amber on wool, glass on silk, ebonite on fur, what is observation? After rubbing, yes, these materials start attracting small pieces of wood shaving. It means that they get electrified, they get charged. They get charged. How they get charged? Actually, how they get charged, it can be well explained on the basis of electron transfer theory. Before rubbing, each material contains equal number of protons and equal number of electrons. So when these materials are rubbed, actually here, suppose for example amber and wool, in this combination, suppose on this amber material 100 electrons are there and 100 protons are there, and on wool material suppose 200 electron, 200 proton. So both are electrically neutral because charge on electron and proton are equal in magnitude and opposite in nature. So net charge on wool material is 0, net charge on amber is 0. But when it is rough, suppose 5 electron get transferred to wool material from amber to wool, and then only 95 electrons will be left, and here 205 electrons will be there on wool material. So see here now combination. 95 electron will be cancelled, the effect of 95 protons, but till 5 protons are there which are extra. As these are the extra charges or extra protons, and proton is positively charged, so this amber rod will acquire a positive charge. At the same time, this wool material, as it has 5 more electron is negatively charged, it will acquire a net negative charge. Means this amber rod will acquire positive charge and wool material acquire negative charge. No doubt these two charges will be equal in magnitude. How to get that magnitude? Magnitude of charge, it is always given by, yes, law of quantization of charge. Total charge acquired by body is always quantized, it is always integral multiple of charge on electron. So here plus minus sign. When to use plus sign? When body loses electron, always that body is said to be acquiring positive charge, then plus sign. When to use negative sign? When body gain the electron. N be the number of electron transfer, and E is the basic charge. We know the value 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So this is the basic concept how to produce this electricity. Now a body which acquire this property is said to be electrified or is said to be charged. Now we know that charges are of different types. We know that charges are of different types. So what are the types of charges? First charge is point charge. First one is a point charge. Second one is a linear charge. Linear charge. Next one is a surface charge. And last one is a volume charge. So depending upon its magnitude or size, these are the different types of charges. Point charge means it is very small. It is like a point in size. Then it is called as a point charge. It may be positive, it may be negative, plus or minus, both possibilities are there. Linear charge, it is little bit greater in magnitude, and no doubt it is spread everywhere on the length of a given object. If total charge, it is spread everywhere on total length, it is called as a linear charge. And if total charge is spread everywhere on the total surface of a body, then it is called as a surface charge. For example, hollow sphere, hollow cylinder, on their outer surface if charge spread everywhere, then it is called as a surface charge. Okay, this is second type, surface charge. Volume charge, if we consider solid geometries, for example solid sphere or solid cylinder, whatever charge is given, it will spread everywhere in its entire volume. And when charge is spread everywhere in entire volume, then it is called as a volume charge or volume charge distribution. So point charge, linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, volume charge distribution, and already we discussed it. Now here, in case of linear charge, you have to remember one term denoted with symbol lambda called as the linear charge density. So what is definition for linear charge density? It is defined as charge per unit length. SI unit is coulomb per meter. Second one is the surface charge density. What is formula? Surface charge density is defined as charge per unit surface area. If sphere is there, area is 4 pi r square, cylinder is there 2 pi r l. And for volume charge density, yes, volume charge density rho is defined as charge per unit volume. So SI unit here coulomb per meter cube, here it is coulomb per meter square. So these are the different types of charges and some of the important terms such as a linear charge density, surface charge density and volume charge density. Now the next very important point related with this basics of electricity or electrostatics, that is Coulomb's law. Coulom's, Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Very important. We know that between 2 point charges, either there exists a force of attraction or maybe repulsion. Not necessary point charge. Between any two charges, there is possibility of either attraction or repulsion. And experimentally it is observed that like charges repel each other while unlike charges attract each other. But with how much force? That magnitude, to get magnitude and direction, yes, scientist Coulomb proposed one of the important law and is called as the Coulomb's law. So what is Coulomb's law? Very simple statement. If we consider any 2 point charges, say plus Q1 and this is second plus Q2, only for the sake of simplicity, I consider here positive, not necessary, you may consider unlike charges also. Suppose distance of separation between them, if it is denoted with symbol R, then like charges means repulsion. And always remember, in direction, these forces are acting along the line joining center of these two charges. If this is A point, this is B point. AB is a line joining center of these two charges. So along this line, these forces are acting. Means first charge will exert certain force on second. This is F21, force acting on second exerted by first. This is F suffix 12, force acting on first exerted by second. Now here, what about magnitude? This magnitude is given by Coulomb's law. So in general, for both these forces, if we take a common symbol, say F, the magnitude of force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges is directly proportional to product of their magnitudes and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. Now here, yes, to remove this proportionality sign, we have to introduce a constant. So F is equal to, tell me, constant, or you may take constant with symbol C, Q1, Q2 divided by R square. This is very important. F is equal to C, Q1, Q2 upon R square. Now see here, C is the constant of proportionality, and this constant of proportionality depends on, yes, two factors. Which two factors? C depends upon nature of medium and system of unit use. For SI system generally, for SI system and any medium, this constant of proportionality generally it is given by formula, yes, C is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, equation number 2. If we replace this constant, then we will get formula here, yes, F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, yes, we will get formula Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Very important formula. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R square, equation number 3. Now here epsilon is called as a permittivity of given medium. What is permittivity? Permittivity of medium. Whatever may be given medium, its permittivity. Actually permittivity, this word stands for permission. Permission given by that medium to pass these forces, because there is no direct contact between charges. So that force is passing through, yes, medium between them. And how much permission is given by medium? It is expressed in terms of the scalar quantity called as the permittivity of medium. If air medium is there, then it is given by epsilon 0, yes, 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 fixed value, coulomb square per Newton meter square. Always remember this is for air medium only. Means if air medium is there, it is C is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. Now here we are going to define one more important physical term and is called as dielectric constant. Dielectric constant, or also called as relative permittivity. Relative permittivity. Permittivity. And symbol generally it is K or epsilon suffix R. So what is this dielectric constant or relative permittivity? Dielectric constant or relative permittivity denoted with symbol K or maybe epsilon suffix R and is defined as permittivity of given medium to permittivity of air medium. See the definition, very simple. Dielectric constant or relative permittivity of given medium is defined as the ratio of permittivity of given medium to permittivity of air medium. It is ratio of two similar physical quantities, hence there is no unit. So here if we replace epsilon equal to epsilon 0k, equation number 4. Now substitute this value over here in equation number 3 so as to get, yes, standard formula to calculate force of attraction or repulsion between any two point charges. And it comes out equal to F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0k, yes, Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Very important. Equation number 5. Simply remember here, epsilon 0 already I have mentioned, it is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. Unit is coulomb square per Newton meter square. ती जर व्हॅल्यू आपण या इक्वेशन मध्ये टाकली आणि जर हा रेशो काढला तर दिस रेशो इज ऑलवेज 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9. By means of rearrangement, if you get unit, then it will be Newton meter square per coulomb square. While solving problems, remember this ratio. If not given directly, you can use this value. Now here, K is called as a dielectric constant of medium. If medium is given, that value will be provided. And if medium is not given, for assuming air medium, yes, take K is always equal to 1. Means whenever air medium is there or not given, assuming air medium, take K is equal to 1. Now while magnitude of charges will be provided, distance will be provided. एक लक्षात ठेवा इथे, हा जो काही फोर्स आहे दोन चार्ज मधला तो दोघांच्याच मॅग्निट्यूडवर डिपेंड आहे. आपण जर म्हटलं इथे एखादा तिसरा चार्ज असेल Q3 तर या दोघांमधला फोर्स या दोघांच्याच मॅग्निट्यूडवर डिपेंड आहे. इट डू नॉट डिपेंड ऑन एनी अनदर चार्ज प्रेझेंट नियरर टू इट. इन बिटवीन असेल, जवळ असेल, हा या दोघांमधला या दोघांवर डिपेंड असेल, या दोघांमधला दोघांवर. पण या दोघांमध्ये जो फोर्स आहे इट ओनली डिपेंड्स ऑन, यस, मॅग्निट्यूड ऑफ चार्जेस अँड डिस्टन्स बिटवीन देम. So this is equation in, yes, scalar form. Even you may write this Coulomb's law in vector form. So in vector form, what to do? If we consider this distance, otherwise here two forces, means from this equation number 5 for this diagram shown, we can say that F12 is equal to F21. Both magnitudes will be same. But in direction F12 bar, see here, F12 bar it is towards left side. In that direction, if I take unit vector R suffix, suppose 1 2 bar, means, or you may write as a cap unit vector. This is unit vector in this direction, means in the direction of this force. Then we can write, yes, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 k Q1 Q2 divided by R square into, yes, R suffix 1 2 cap. Actually, this cap letter is used for a unit vector. This unit vector gives direction, means this magnitude is acting in this direction. Similarly, we can write F21 bar is equal to, same, everything is just same, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 k, yes, Q1 Q2 divided by R square into R suffix 21 cap. So this is unit vector in the direction of second force. And from these two equations, it is clear that these two forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Hence, we can write here F12 bar is exactly equal to minus F suffix 21 bar. Very important. So this is about Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Now in next video, we will consider how to measure the strength of, yes, electric field of a given charge. Actually, electric field is new concept introduced by scientist Michael Faraday. So what is exactly this concept of electric field? How to measure strength of electric field at a given point, respective physical quantities, everything we will consider in next video. Okay, thank you.